What's up YouTube, it's your boy Kami back with another video. This is going to be quite a long video in the sense of I have divided this video into two sections. There's this section, me here just showing off the board a little bit through the trailer, and then another section where any questions you could possibly have about the board. I've had the CEO answer the questions, not just me, but a bunch of other people, in a Q&A session he held on the Discord. So any answers you're looking for or any questions you may have, they're probably answered in the timestamps. If you just look at the video, I have them all timestamped. You can look through them. Besides that, I'll just show off the board a little bit. We have, so one of the first skins we can see here that I bet a lot of people are excited for is anime gooning, because people love to goon. So this is officially not a performance board, but a goon board, because when I was on Discord, all everyone talked about was goon, 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 and Finalmouse himself also took a part of the playbook from Glass Mousepad limited drops, which is essentially understanding that, by making the wallpapers open source, that anyone can upload their own wallpapers, he's now catering to weebs, and weebs have a lot of money for some reason. So, if you can slap an anime girl on it, you are guaranteed to make money. So great decision by Finalmouse himself. I've put a few polls up on the Discord. I'll display them now. People asking people, is it gonna yellow? When do you think you'll ship? A bunch of stuff like that. I have actual photos of it here. So the first question I asked people on the Discord is, what do you think will be the most popular artwork / wallpaper on the Centerpiece? So to further, prove my point that people are just weebs, including me, the anime goon is the most selected artwork that people think will be on the board. And then next we have, do you think there will be QC issues? And majority said yes to that. And then we have, what problem do you think the board will most likely have? Yellowing keycaps or overheating? Because this is a board with a GPU, a screen, very bright screen, but it has heat dissipation, so that should help with the overheating. But people think that the board will overheat and not yellow, it's more likely to overheat than yellow. There are still, it's only one off, but that's the thing. And then the craziest thing about all of this was that they were supposed to go live on Twitch, and Finalmouse got banned from Twitch, and they essentially had to switch to YouTube. And I asked, do you think the stream will be delayed on YouTube? And everyone said yes. And it was in a way delayed on YouTube. The stream turned on and there was a timer. So the stream basically was extended for a lot longer than it should have been. But yeah. Essentially we have another anime wallpaper here as well for all the weebs. And then, for the people that enjoy normal things, you have rockets, frogs, beautiful nature. They put a lot of effort into this trailer, which I respect, and the drop date will be February 1st for people that aren't founders. So if you have a founders card, you get to pre-order on the 31st, so keep that in mind. Finalmouse himself did say that most likely there will be no stock after the founders, so assume that if you don't have a card or a code, you're probably not going to get the keyboard. But if they somehow don't sell out, because the last prophecy drop, which to my knowledge I thought was going to sell out insanely quick because of bots and all that, actually did quite well. It was in stock for multiple hours, which was a first for Finalmouse. So apparently their bot protection is superb now. So and also another thing about this drop, it's for bots to even buy out the drop, they would need multiple codes. So I mean, there's probably some way somehow some guy has out there 5,000 codes, but their bot protection's gotten better. So if just keep an eye out on February 1st, they might have stock, and try to cop one if you're interested in this. And yeah, that's basically my portion of the video. I'm just gonna cut it now to the questions and answers. Like I said, timestamps are in the video, so you can check, what questions you want answered, and just click there, and you'll see if you think there might be yellowing, go to the yellowing part in the video, and the CEO will answer. And yeah, it's been your boy Kami. And thank you so much for 352 subscribers, guys. Or 54, actually. I appreciate that a lot. So if you've been enjoying my videos, please drop a sub and a like. And I also have another bigger video planned. This is just kind of a informative video. I thought, I have a bunch of, a long recording of him talking about the keywords. So I might as well put it out there so it's easy for people to find the information. And it's not like broken telephone. One person says one thing and then goes to another person. You just get to hear directly from the CEO himself. So yeah.
As for what the difference with the Founders Edition is and the Standard Edition, the only difference in the Founders Edition is it's numbered, it's laser engraved. on the bottom of the case. And it comes with just a, special little commemorative signature and things like that. Other than that, the case, it's the new black aluminum case, which many of you know, it's no longer the silver engraved case. We went away from that for several reasons. A lot of people were like, oh, I miss the engravings. One, to get the quality of the CNC and the engravings right for mass production at like really high numbers, just wasn't possible. It would have upped the cost to like really get the quality where you needed it for those engravings. If you wanted to get it done for mass production, we would have had to die cast it or do something like that, and it just wouldn't have felt, like what it needed. The other main thing was just it's a way cleaner look. It's going to fit more setups. As we were going through more skins and putting it next to like different setups and just testing it out, the engravings, they're cool, but they're not quite as timeless. They kind of jar with some setups. So, it's a little trade-off. Obviously, that's one of the main things that you could argue was a little downgrade from the first set. The program's X panel. So same X panel you're using for the ULX to adjust everything. Everything's done through the web app now. So that's also different. Before we were using a Steam app, which was, was clunky. You had to download it. It wasn't really user-friendly. This one's just totally like a web app. You can go in, change your settings just like with your ULX, all your Hall effect settings, rapid trigger, per key actuation, SOCD or snap tap or whatever you like to call that based on what other brands have had, and all different types of Hall effect.
I got a question when you're done.
Yep, go for it.
What's the specs on the screen compared to the last? Is it the same or
it's the same exact screen as the last one?
And what are the specs again for those?
It's an LCD panel. It's a high def LCD panel. I believe it's like a little above a 2K. So it's the same specs. No OLED. It's still the same LCD. I mean, obviously, we all love OLED, but this is a keyboard, so it has to run on USB-C power. It's got to be in the bar format to fit the keyboard layout. So maybe far into the future, when OLED prices to manufacture something like this, custom like this for the power that we need, gets a little more usable. But right now, power management to have it all be self-powered through USB-C is just not possible to do OLED.
What's the hertz count on it? If you know.
That's a good question. I believe the hertz count is 120, but it's it's good enough for what you're looking at. And the main thing with the LCD actually that we were going for is just good viewing angle. So the LCD has really, really good viewing angle. It has pretty good, nits in terms of like the brightness and the backlight. It's pretty solid. It doesn't use up too much power. It's extremely durable. Like obviously the whole keyboard has like a module that's laminated to the display to protect it. But like, even if you're banging on it for, 100 years, you're not gonna cause any damage to the pixels or anything. So yeah, no change at all to the display, but the way it's assembled together with the display, obviously. Any cooling installed? That's a good question. The cooling, so the whole bottom of the keyboard acts as a heat sink. So the GPU, the chipset, has a kind of like a silicone pad, or is it a graphite pad? I don't remember, but it contacts the bottom aluminum panel, which acts as a heat sink. The very, very first Centerpiece prototypes back in like 2020 or something, like before we even revealed it had like a little small fan, but you could hear it. We got rid of that. Case swappable. If you're an extreme tinker, it could be case swappable, but for 90% of people, it's not case. I take that back. It's not hard to case swap. It's really not. You could put a really nice, if you CNC'd something custom, obviously there's not going to be like any aftermarket stuff that exists right now, but if somebody starts doing custom CNC engraved cases, you could definitely do a case swap. it's not the most difficult thing, you know, in relative to like what other mechanical keyboard people are doing every day. It's actually not too difficult.
Do you know what the warranty is on it? Will it be 1 year, 2 years?
It's going to be the same as the
3?
mice, 2 year. It's all totally free game.
Yeah, I think the biggest question right now is the shipping times. Well, what do you estimate?
Yeah, so the pre-order starts February 1st. That's coming up. And it's going to be shipping in summer, roughly around June and July. And that's for all the first Founders editions. And then we'll probably get to the next, you know, standard editions very much later in the year, or early the next year, just because we're still building out the supply chain for this product. I mean, it's totally new. We have new displays, obviously custom, and magnets, and, you know, a lot of things to be able to put this together.
And so in terms of like the keycaps and stuff, what are you guys using for the keycaps so to prevent it from yellowing, etc.?
Oh, to prevent it from yellowing. So the keycaps, they're all coated with anti-UV, anti-scratch. They all have anti-yellowing properties. So that's all handled. We're actually in between 2 resins right now. We can use both. It hasn't been finalized. They're proprietary. I can't disclose like what the resins are. They're 2 different resins. You want differing materials between the key switch and the key module for, you know, smooth, kind of just low friction sliding. But yeah, no, anti-yellowing, anti-scratch.
How open source is the creation of custom graphics, and will you be making any software available to aid in the creation of those custom graphics?
Oh, that's a great question. So before, it was a very much a closed ecosystem. I don't know if you guys remember, but the whole original idea was like, it's a Steam marketplace, it's locked, you know, we're curating skins. We even thought like you could buy some rare ones, all that stuff. What, you know, like, we changed that entire philosophy, made it essentially completely open source. Isn't the right word, but you can put effectively any skin that you want on the keyboard, and none of it is copyright. So what I mean by that, it's not hosted in some marketplace. Like if you want to put, let's say, a skin of your favorite sports team or your favorite movie or whatever, you can put any skin. You could take any video, put it in the right aspect ratio, put it on the keyboard. It could be your favorite streamer, your dog, or, you know, your whatever. And because that's all locally hosted, we're not storing that in the cloud or anything. We have no copyright limits. So we wanted to give people that ability to just kind of like do whatever they wanted and put whatever they wanted on the keyboard. In terms of interactive skins, that's a little different. That's still going to be open. There's going to be kind of like a developer kit for that. It's actually very easy if you are familiar even with blueprint scripting. I don't know if anybody here knows how Unreal Engine works, but like blueprint scripting is like their visual programming for games. And the way we've programmed Centerpiece Pro is that, you know, the pack files are kind of like preloaded. So we give you, in a way, how do I explain this in a way that people understand? We kind of give like all the fundamental infrastructure for an Unreal interactive skin. So anybody that just wants to blueprint an interactive skin, put it up on the marketplace, on the Xpanel marketplace, you can do that. At the beginning, it's going to be totally free. You can put it up. Other people can get it. You can share your Unreal stuff. Eventually, we might entertain, like, let's say some artist makes an insane interactive Unreal skin, something like co-branded or cross-promotional. We could do some, like, you know, priced skins, but that's not even the short-term hurdle.
Okay. And so there's another big question in chat. You said, so in the video it says it starts at $349, and so I guess people are confused on whether there's like additional things you're going to be able to add.
Yeah, the
Centerpiece?
starts at 349 is simply just saying the whole thing is 349. You get your Centerpiece Pro, you get all the keycaps on it, you get all the stock springs, you get the aluminum case, you get the special key switch puller, and you get 2 cables. You get a USB-C cable, and then you get a special USB-C to like a double USB-A splitter in case you don't have a USB-C for whatever reason. You could basically use 2 USB-As to power it. And that's everything that comes stock. That's $349. Everything you need to enjoy Centerpiece Pro. The reason we said starts is because if you want lube, if you want more different springs, let's say you want gold higher force springs, you want different key switch profiles, you want all this different stuff. We just foresee people getting a lot of these little accessories, and those are all extra, but there's no like tiers to Centerpiece. GPU specs, it's obviously this is not like a freaking like 5080 in this thing, right? Like this is like an Android tablet kind of GPU, like a pretty good one. It's a multi-core. I don't know the exact specs on it, but it's going to be running like all your Unreal Engine skins at a pretty decent frame rate. You can't just put any GPU in here. It has to be able to run on a single USB-C, which I don't remember the exact kind of voltage that provides off the top of my head, but it.
Somebody asked, when you put the code in your email, are you gonna get like an invoice from you guys, or is it gonna be
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question. So this is exactly how it's going to work. On January 31st, 11 a.m., the site will allow people with the Founders Edition codes to click the little buy thing, right? Little button. It'll pop up with a little form, a little window that says enter your code, enter your email. If the code is valid, you will be emailed an invoice. That invoice will last, for whatever period of time, right? Until the drop the next day when it's sold out, obviously. So you don't want to like just let the invoice sit there. But it'll email you an invoice. You can check out with that invoice. And once you do that, that code is no longer active. But if you have a second code, you can go back and you can get another invoice. There's no limit as long as you have codes.